Right. So this is the first time we get a call to Nick Cage, where like the person on the other end comes on the line and says, "Please hold for the president."
Do you want one of those calls at one point in time in your life?
Fuck no, dude. Do you know how little I want to be involved?
Hey, everybody. Jordan didn't jump the gun this time.
No, I just... I'm over here dying. I just drank a bunch of seltzer, so like my nose is still burning.
Oh, spicy water.
Yeah, seltzer's always too spicy for me. But I've been getting ads on like Facebook and stuff for Alka-Seltzer tablets.
Okay.
And it made me wonder, like, are there people out there who like recreationally drink Alka-Seltzer?
I mean, sometimes I really just like the taste of Pepto-Bismol, so...
Woof. I mean, but
you know how I feel about
I was
amoxicillin
gonna say,
as well.
you're out there slamming amoxicillin and stuff, so... I mean,
I'm not slamming amoxicillin.
That's why you can't safely leave the house, otherwise you'll immediately get an infection. Your body is so
immune
like,
to
pumped full of amoxicillin. Yeah, like the second you step outside, just boom, your whole skin is just infected. No, welcome back. We did it. We made it through another Nicolas Cage film.
We sure did.
Yeah, it was fine.
I enjoyed it.
I found a really weird community of people who post clips from VHS on YouTube because of this movie. It was really strange. I still don't quite understand why or like what the fuck is going on.
What the fuck?
I mean, why?
People have a lot of free time sometimes.
Yeah. I mean, I have a VCR, right? And I have some VHS. Like, it's
maybe
fine.
we should
like,
get into that.
I don't know. It just seemed like there's something deeper that I don't understand, I think. But I don't quite know. Because, like, someone posted,
what are the
like...
comments?
There aren't any. But there are, like, 900 views on some of them. Dang. So it'll be like, here's the introduction to this movie. It's the Canadian version, and it was printed in 1997. I purchased it in 1998. And here's the first 40 seconds of this VHS.
Could that be because Canadians are just really wonderful?
I mean, they're wholesome, sure, but I don't know. I don't know how that relates to VHSs. VHSs?
VHS.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's all this movie really gave me. That and it introduced me to the movie's called Guarding Tess. But do you have any announcements before we get into it?
Yeah, man.
What's up, gang?
Yo.
We got an announcement, and that announcement is
I'm actually gonna kind of go on a little bitty spiel kind of thingy.
I believe in you.
Are you ready?
Yeah, I don't know anything about this. You kind of mentioned it before we started recording. But I do a lot of like yelling and heavy breathing and
it's a lot to just get him to calm down so that like we can get in the headspace of doing this.
Yeah, I mean, so we are here to entertain people that are listening, right? So like,
is that what we're doing?
Yeah. So like, as I get going, did you ever like stage perform or anything? Like,
yes.
were you in like choir and that kind of shit? Like, did you get a little like hyped before you jumped on stage?
Yeah.
It's kind of like that, but you know, we also have the ability.
Scream.
We also have the ability to like edit out the like garbage, whereas when you're on stage, you really don't.
Ugh, yeah.
But what do you got? Get going.
Oh my goodness.
Go on now.
Don't rush me.
Yeah, what do you got?
Okay.
You're going to go on like a Rachel Maddow monologue?
Oh my goodness. I don't know. I've never watched a minute of Rachel Maddow in my life.
Oh, you should.
Why?
Because she's got a pretty haircut.
What does that have to do with anything?
She's got like a high top. It's really cute.
Oh my God. Okay. Anyway. So I'm going to just go on a soapbox for a moment and talk about holiday shopping, Black Friday, Cyber Monday, all that kind of garbage.
I've been seeing it called Black November now.
Really?
Because they're like, people are like just spreading it out over the whole month.
Oh, yeah. I've seen like, I get like constant emails like Target's like, look at the Black Friday deals this week. And here's a preview for the Black Friday deals next week.
Like, that's not how Fridays work.
Yeah. But I think that's the safer way of doing it, honestly.
Yeah, safety first.
Yes.
Safety first, then teamwork.
I always thought it was kind of crazy.
Jesus Christ. Is my microphone off? Can you hear me in your headphones?
Yeah.
Oh, woof. All right. Carry on.
Are you done interrupting me?
Carry on. Sorry.
I'm going to punch you. Anyway, so we all know that this time of year is super hard in general, and this year is especially hard because a lot of people have had to cancel their holiday plans with their loved ones and stay in their homes and not travel and do all that kind of good stuff because if you don't want your family members to die, you should probably stay home. So what I wanted to talk about is supporting small businesses and the idea of podcasts as small businesses. So like our podcast, Site Attendant, which you're listening to right now.
And boy, howdy, have you ever been so entertained? Probably not. Have you ever been so titillated?
They've
Probably not.
already stopped listening and they went to go look at the YouTube videos of the VHSs from Canada.
Straight up. Go check them out. It's you can get real weird on YouTube. Just sort by most recently posted and things get wild. Anyway, carry on. Sorry. Small businesses.
So our podcast is run by 3 people. You're 2 amazingly sexy hosts. And our lovely producer and editing genius, Tony, who's also amazingly sexy, but they're also really smart. And of course, there are thousands of podcasts out there run by small teams of folks. One of my favorite podcasts is Morbidology. It's a true crime podcast because, of course, I'm a white woman in America, so I listen to 14 different true crime podcasts. But Morbidology is a true crime podcast that I've been a huge fan of since day one. And she's a 1-person team, and she has a Patreon, and she does all this extra stuff. And now she's doing a series, and I'm just I have no idea how she does it, but she's amazing, and we tweet at each other all the time, and I'm in love with her.
I'll tell you, I'm going to interrupt again.
God damn it. Okay.
I can be hypercritical of podcasts.
Mm-hmm.
There are a bunch of pretty bad true crime podcasts out there, but Morbidology is for real good, and it's hard to explain what she does that's different, but it seems like she does a lot of independent investigating. Yeah,
she doesn't really engage in a lot of speculation, which I like, and whereas, she uses a lot of original content. So what is it called? Interrogation, not footage, but and 911 calls and recordings and stuff like that. That's what I'm looking for.
Clips and stuff. And other podcasts I've noticed, true crime ones at least, do this thing where it seems to me, and maybe I'm being a dick about it, but it seems to me that they'll go find the Wikipedia page for whatever the crime is and just kind of read it at you.
Mm-hmm.
And she, what's her name?
Why am I Emily?
Emily.
I was oh no, I'm blanking on her name. She's gonna be. I'm embarrassed.
No, she seems to actually put work on it.
Yeah.
And throwing minimal shade to the podcasts that don't have the time or resources to do what she does, but she does it great.
Yeah.
Good job.
Yeah. So, and she doesn't know that we're talking about her. So she has no idea that we're promoting her at all.
Yeah. This is not a paid ad. Or
no,
anything,
not at all. So
we're trying to spread some Christmas cheer.
That's true. And I don't know if she's in Northern Ireland or from Northern Ireland. But I love her accent. And I think that she is just I love just listening to her. And I mentioned that because she got a really shitty review recently that was I can't stand the sound of her voice, and I was just excuse me, rude. Just move on. Why do people have to be so rude?
Yeah, I don't know. There are obviously some things that aren't for me. If I go find some band, I don't know. I'm trying to think of an example of a band recently that I tried to like, but the voice just wasn't there for me. I didn't go like talk shit in a comment somewhere. You know,
I hate this
like,
band.
you just move it like, it's like, oh, clearly this is not my thing.
But getting back to my point, so a lot of podcasts are run by like very small teams or one person. And there are podcasts for just about every single thing you can think of. Of course, there's like true crime and horror genre, my two personal favorite genres. And, you know, media podcasts about shows and movies. I happen to really like this one called Side Attendant about Nick Cage. Sports and health podcasts and gerbil podcasts, and there's a podcast for it. So basically what I'm getting down to is that this holiday season, you could think about contributing to your favorite podcast. A lot of them have Patreon pages. And if you're not familiar with a Patreon page, it's just kind of like a way to support them in like monetarily. So they'll have like different levels of commitment. So for instance, for Jordan's birthday this year, I got him the Patreon subscription to that chapter. Also an Irish person. Also true crime. But it's like $2 a month, and Jordan gets like early access to videos and Q&As and that kind of stuff. And there are different tiers for different podcasts. Yeah. And there are also like season passes. So like I listen to, what's that horror one that I'm constantly listening to?
Nosleep?
Yeah, the Nosleep Podcast is one of my favorites. They have like season passes, so you get like full episodes. So like if you listen to the podcast for free, you get like 3 out of like the 5 stories that'll be like on the episode. So they have season passes, and they're super easy to gift to your loved ones from afar. So, I mean, I think I only needed like Jordan's email address to sign him up for the Patreon.
Yeah. At least I don't remember you asking for any other information from me.
No. And I mean, so that's like a monetary way that you can definitely support podcasts that you like to listen to, or find out what podcasts your loved ones like to listen to, or subscribe to like their favorite like YouTube channels they like to subscribe to. And while we don't have a Patreon yet, what we are asking for you to do this holiday season is to just share us with a loved one or all of your loved ones. We're just like really in a stage of growing. So if you can like mention us in a tweet, share us on Facebook, let your mom know while you FaceTime her at Thanksgiving. We're just, like I said, we're really growing at this point. We have so much fun doing this podcast, but sometimes it seems like the algorithms do not favor us. So, you know, we just want to keep creating like fun content. Yeah. You know, give us a shout out, give us an or whatever the kids are saying. Like if you're preparing your turkey this week and you want to listen to something, like just give us a shout out on Twitter and say, hey, I really thought that Jordan's joke was not funny at all. Or, hey, Ashley, what is your telephone number? Because you sound so cute. So yeah, so when you're thinking about like gifts and stuff for your people for like Black Friday and Black November and all of that kind of stuff, definitely just think about supporting your favorite podcasts either monetarily or just by sharing them with the people that you love. And stay safe, and we love you, and thanks for coming to my TED Talk.
All right, that was I think that was good. People should start considering that like small businesses aren't necessarily like a brick and mortar shop. Like we have friends that do like Etsy stuff where they sell like little, well, lately masks.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot
of
like
gosh,
mask
yeah.
making or like little like handbags or sculptures and that kind of stuff. Like
I meant to tell you. So we bought a bunch of masks from the Geeky Knot.
Yeah.
On Etsy. And I know her personally, where we used to live in Indiana. Like I had met her there, and she has an Etsy shop called the Geeky Knot, and you can find her on what is it called? Instagram, the one with the pictures.
Mm-hmm.
She made a Krampus hat. Like she crocheted with the horns and all, like a Krampus winter hat.
Whoa.
Yeah. And she makes a bunch of hats, and we've gotten so many masks. And she was one of my first friends who started making masks this year.
Yeah.
And
My mask from her is the most comfortable one that I've tried on.
Yeah, we got like matchy Slytherin ones.
Mm-hmm.
I got some Halloween ones. You got Flintstones.
Yeah.
Tony got, what is it called? Rocco's Modern Life.
Mm-hmm.
And then for the holiday season, she's gotten like some really fun colored elastic. So like deep maroon and like forest green and stuff to go with like a lot of like wintry masks and stuff. And I mean, that's her sole income. So I always point people her way.
Yeah.
Nothing against brick and mortar stores for sure. We have a lot of, like friends who run those as well, but I'm just going to keep interrupting you, Jordan.
No, you're good. But yeah, I mean, I think that's it for our pluggy advertising section of the podcast. Would you like to talk about a Nicolas Cage film called Guarding Tess?
You know, I really would.
I'm going to jump a little bit out of order here and tell you that my initial guess was that this movie was made / released in 1990 on the nose.
Okay.
But in my weird journey through VHS copies on YouTube, 1994.
Okay.
Well, one of the people specifically said, this copy was produced in the 42nd week of the year 1994.
Wow.
I was like, holy shit.
That is specific.
Yeah. So
that's amazing.
My guess was 1990 because I didn't notice like a lot of like cell phone use or.
And like I didn't tell you about that stuff because like in the past where I've said like, oh, he has a flip
like, gives
phone.
It away.
Yeah.
Like if you mention iPhone.
Is that like ableist to not mention things specifically?
No, it's ableist of the film production companies to not have audio description.
Oh yeah, I forget that.
Yeah, that's not on you.
Okay. We watched it on Amazon.
Mm-hmm.
No AD.
No AD. Yeah, although we did find another movie, Family Man.
Yeah,
that has AD, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think that might be our next one.
Yeah, it is Christmassy.
Yeah. I realized this morning when I was looking at some Nick Cage stuff that he's in a movie called The Weatherman as well, right?
Yes, and Matchstick Men.
That I think I confused The Weatherman and Family Man.
Oh.
So I don't know which one is which, but either way, I wonder how many other movies. Wicker Man.
Oh yeah.
Matchstick Men, Family Man, Weatherman. There's got to be a couple more, right?
Yeah. I mean, there are other words for man, so like Lord of War.
Yeah. I mean, he's just the main dude. Like when he's in a movie, the movie's title is very directly pertaining to him.
Yes.
But this movie's a little bit of an appropriate movie for the time we're in, just post-election. It is a movie where Nick Cage plays a Secret Service agent. He continuously refers to him as a special secret agent in charge or a secret special agent in charge. I'm not sure which one. But he is guarding the former First Lady, played by
Shirley MacLaine. Jordan doesn't
Shirley
know who Shirley MacLaine is.
Clue. Like who?
My mom is going to text as soon as she hears those words.
I can't believe that.
Yeah. She's going to be like, Steel Magnolias!
I'm sorry.
And I'll be like, I'm sorry. Jordan's never watched Steel Magnolias. Don't worry. It's on the list. I mean, not the Nick Cage list.
I've never seen Steel Magnolias.
It's so good.
No, it used to. So like that pretty directly relates to most of the movies that I've never seen. I pretty regularly people will say like, oh yeah, something about the Mad Max, and I'll just blank face them. Never saw it. And it was the case, like I saw Back to the Future for the first time in 2016. Like, give me a break. I didn't see movies when I was a kid or a teen. It just didn't happen. So I missed a bunch of them. But yeah, so secret agent boy, former first lady, and this is classified as like a drama / comedy, right?
Let's see what it's actually classified
That's what
as.
I kept saying out loud, I can't tell if this is supposed to be funny.
It's a comedy,
Okay.
comma, drama.
Okay, yeah.
So it's both.
So you got the opening scene is Nick Cage being released from guarding her, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he's like very relieved,
Like his
and
assignment
happy
is
and,
up.
yeah, and like celebrating and very pleased. But then he gets a call from the president himself saying, I need you to go back and guard the former first lady.
So like he gets back to DC and he's like, I want a big assignment. Like I want back in the White House.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like in any job, you want to be at the peak of that job. And I would imagine for Secret Service dudes, being stationed at the White House or directly guarding the president is like the tip top of that career field, right?
Yeah.
So that's obviously what Nick Cage wants to be doing. But then he is informed that no, Shirley MacLaine would like Nick Cage to return and continue guarding her.
Her name is Tess, by the way.
Test. So
I don't know if it's short for Tesla.
Nope, not gonna.
What is Tess short for?
Vitessa. I think it's probably Vitessa.
Ah, yes, Vitessa.
Yeah.
Tesmeralda.
Yep, that one. That works.
So he goes back with like his tail between his legs because like on his way out he was just like, haha, see ya fuckers.
It's like one of those where like when you get in the car leaving your job on the last day, you like middle finger at the building
and you like peel out.
Eat my shit, and then they call you and they're like, hey, we'd like to offer you a position back at the company. You're like, fuck. So yeah, he ends up back there. And this is where we meet Dursley.
Vernon Dursley. I don't actually remember what his name is in the film.
I don't either. He's the cook,
He's
though,
like
right?
the nurse.
Oh, the nurse. Okay.
Yeah, no, the cook is Jimmy, I think.
Okay. So
Frederick.
She's living in this mansion in some shithole, Ohio. And I think just by default, anytime that you've reached some like high level of political office, you gotta be super wealthy, right? Because she's got like a fucking mansion.
Mm-hmm. She's got hired staff, yo.
Yeah. So, which I don't know. Like, do you get a pension or like some kind of payment for the rest of your life once you've been a president?
That's a great question that I don't know the answer to.
I think you do. But anyway, so Nick Cage is back. We meet her like staff. She's got a driver. She's got a cook, and she's got Uncle Dursley. Uncle Vernon.
Vernon Dursley.
Yeah. Who I really enjoyed. Like his part was fun.
He was quite flamboyant.
Yeah. Was he? So he's a gay man?
I don't know. It
But
was the 90s.
Yeah, but that's the implication, right? Like nowadays, with the destruction of masculinity.
Yes. Because Harry Styles is in a magazine wearing dresses.
Yeah. With the destruction of masculinity, like you can't necessarily like be assuming whether or not, like, obviously it's inappropriate to assume someone's sexuality or gender or anything like that anyway, but like back in the 90s, if you had someone like even a tick under full-blown masculine Chad Oakley sunglasses punching their truck, then you assume they're gay, right?
Perhaps, or just British.
Oh yeah, that too. And
gay or British, that's my favorite game to play.
It's a game that you play when you watch 90s movies. But like nowadays, like there are, straight dudes all over the place painting their nails and doing their makeup like it ain't no thing. But I think the 90s was a little bit of a time.
Yeah.
It was a time of a great adjustment in pushing acceptance culture forward, I think.
Yeah, it was a time for the squares.
to get the fuck out, dog. I saw this stupid Facebook post today about a Harvard study that recommended a serving size for French fries of only 6 fries, and one of their responses was "Shut up, nerd." Like, yeah, I mean, I can get behind that.
Yeah, that's funny.
But so we meet her staff, and then we kind of jump into this cantankerous relationship between Nick Cage and what's her name? Caitlin Markles. What's her name?
I'm sorry?
What Sharon
What's the movie called?
Guarding Tess.
What's her name?
Tess.
Mm-hmm.
But like, what's the actress's name? Still
Shirley MacLaine.
Yep,
for the love of God, Jordan.
You told me that 4 seconds ago, and I got it. It doesn't stick in my head because I don't know anything she's been in. So
I wish you weren't such a failure.
Sorry, but like, if I tell you some name that's just seemingly random, right? It's just, I don't know. I got nothing. So we are introduced to their cantankerous relationship, wherein she regularly tries to behave outside of like security protocols, and
she loves to fuck with this man.
Yeah, like that's kind of the whole bit, right? That's the whole movie, is ways in which she is fucking with Nick Cage, ways in which she is subverting security protocols, and it's cute. I mean it, right? Like, that's the word. It's
yeah,
cute.
I mean, she talks to him and says things like "good boy," which is kinky as hell.
Yeah, okay. I thought they were going to fuck.
Yeah, I know. You kept saying it.
So with a movie like this, you get one of two things. Like, obviously, she wants him to come back, so she's got some weird interest in him specifically.
Yeah,
so it's either
she likes to torture him.
Right. So I thought the only two. So in any movie, you've got to have like a big point of contention, right? Or not a big point of contention, but like the big moment in the movie, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I thought it was either going to be that these two people fall in love, right? Or someone tries to kill her, and Nick Cage has to like do his part in saving her life. That's the only two ways a movie like this can go, right?
You're going to have to give me lists of movies from the 90s in which the woman born in the 30s and the man born in like the 60s are going to fuck each other.
Yeah, I don't know. I got nothing for you. Although if she was, so let's say she's born in what? She's born in 35, right?
34 or 35, yeah.
Quick math tells me that so she would have been 60?
34.
Yeah, so she would have been in 60 when this came out, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably too old for 1994 Nick Cage. Because he would have been 34, right?
I think so. I don't remember when he was born.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess I didn't consider that at the time.
He was born in 64, so he was 30 at the time.
Yeah.
He was your age.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. To me, it's just not crazy for people of vastly different ages to get together, but I guess in the 90s maybe it was.
I don't know.
Either way. I wasn't necessarily wrong, because, spoiler alert, the place this movie goes to is a place wherein she is kidnapped.
She does not get fucked by Nick Cage.
Correct. A little bit disappointing.
Bummer.
But, I mean, I'm a big fan of movies where Nick Cage gets to actually be romantic. I think he does it really well, and it's not the most awkward thing in the fucking world.
Yeah, you like City of Angels? Maybe we should go listen to that episode again and talk about City of Angels.
Holy cow. I mean, it's, you can't, he's such an awkward dude.
Yeah.
But, I mean, we don't have to worry about that in this movie, because there's literally no romance at all in the entire thing, right?
Not like... No,
like direct romance.
No. There's some reminiscing.
Right, her reminiscing about her husband, who obviously...
Her late husband.
Yeah, if she's the former first lady, she's got a dead president husband. We find out that he like had a heart attack while he was in office, and she's all sad and shit. And it's I'll give you a bit of trivia. The clip when she's watching like a video from his nomination, that clip is from the 1992 Republican National Convention, and you can see a George Bush sign like in the audience.
Why though?
Huh?
Why though?
Why? What do you mean why?
Why?
Why? What do you mean why?
I just gotta just pretend George Bush didn't happen.
Oh, I mean George Bush 1 was not. He was fine. Comparatively.
Oh yeah, I was thinking George W, but
No,
that's
yeah,
a
that guy
decade later.
Yeah, that guy came in 2000.
Yeah.
But so from here, I mean, so what is the first like major contention? Is it like the flower thing, right? He like breaks she's got like a rose. And
every morning for breakfast, like she always has like a rose in like a vase on her like breakfast tray.
Yeah.
And the first time he's like back and he like goes in to confront her about it, he like snaps the head off and like puts it in his like lapel little hole thingy.
Oh, like a boutonniere?
Yeah.
Is that what it's called?
I don't know.
Or a corsage?
No, the boutonniere's on the boys and the corsage's on the girls, you know, traditional like. Yeah. But the boutonnieres go on the lapel and the corsages go on the wrists of whatever genderful or genderless human being. And he gets reprimanded by the president.
Right. So this is the first time we get a call to Nick Cage where like the person on the other end comes on the line and says, please hold for the president.
Do you want one of those calls at one point in time in your life?
Fuck no, dude. Do you know how little I want to be involved? Like, I am very happy with the fact that like 5 people know where I live.
Yeah.
About 5 people have my phone number. I'm good. Leave it. I do not like if I was getting a call from the president, that'd mean I had shit to do.
Yeah.
And you know how little I want to do shit? Very little.
Yes, I do.
Very little. And I don't mean that to say like I'm lazy or anything. I mean that to say if I'm going to be involved in something important, I don't want it to be as like bogged down and bureaucratic bullshitty as like politics.
Yeah.
I want it to be something like local, like
what if AOC called you?
Oh, yeah, I joined her team.
Okay.
Pretty much immediately. And that's not because I'm attracted to her.
Oh.
Though that's true. It's because I think that actual like progressive candidates like her and Ilhan and stuff are the future of the Democratic Party.
Yeah. God, I hope so.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't want to be involved in that crap. But yeah, so he gets a call from the president at this point. And the way they did the audio here really bothered me. And I don't know if it bothered you too.
I don't know.
But I remember at one point you said, I can't understand.
It's like so crackly. Like he's calling from the middle of the fucking ocean or something.
Yeah, it's like straight up like a walkie-talkie in the other room or something. It's crazy. But something interesting I found out is that the person that voices the president, the director of the film.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But we get like 2 or 3 calls like that. Like obviously with any like weird drama comedy, they're all seemingly pretty cyclical. Like I'm trying to think of other ones. What's the it's more of like a romantic comedy, but Ryan Reynolds and The Proposal.
The Proposal. Okay, yeah.
Like that movie. It's the same setup. It's very cyclical, right? The point of contention is just the same thing repeated a few times throughout the movie. So like however Nick Cage wronged her by like breaking her flower, we just get another similar wronging about 20 minutes further into the movie, and another 20 minutes after that, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
And it was the same thing with her doing her runaway in the car thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
What was the first time she did the runaway in the car? Did we see that, or was it implied that it had already happened? Because I got kind of confused with that.
Well, first she was pulling like shenanigans. Like she likes to like order the Secret Service around to like do tasks and stuff. And Nick Cage, like early on, is like, no, we're going to do everything by the book now. Like we're not going to fetch this and we're not going to do this and blah, blah, blah. And she gets huffy about that. And he's like, you can refuse Secret Service all you want. And that's when she does refuse Secret Service and the president calls and he's like, listen, fucker, like, she can't just not have Secret Service.
Be protected, yeah.
So, like, you need to fix this.
Yeah.
And then she, like, fucks around with, like, other rules that she knows. So, like, apparently, and I don't know anything about the Secret Service or if this is completely fictional. But, like, she sat, so Nick Cage is in the front seat and then Ed, the driver, is in the driver's seat and she's in the back. And she was sitting behind Nick Cage and then she moves to behind the driver. And he's like, you can't, like, we can't drive the car until, like, she's behind me. Like, we have to both be able to see her. And she just, like, sits and, like, huffs and puffs. So it's like this, like, contention thing all the time.
Yeah, like, he's into following the protocol, and she knows that she's only able to sit in what would be the, like, passenger back seat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then like after she wants to go like golfing in like 30-degree weather to like make everyone suffer. And then like at the end of it, like she has her driver just like take off and like
so the deal is there has to be an agent in the vehicle with her at all times, right?
Mm-hmm.
But before Nick Cage can get back in the car, she just tells the driver to go.
Yeah.
And she does it by saying, I hired you, driver, and if you don't go, I'll fire you.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he also knows that he has to follow the orders of the Secret Service. So he's in this like weird situation, basically one boss telling him to do a thing and another telling him not to.
Yeah.
And he just takes off.
Yep.
And then Nick Cage beats the piss out of him.
Yeah.
Which was, I thought, a pretty good scene. A good like Nick Cage freak out, angry, screaming, violent scene.
Yeah.
Like it fits the Nick Cage bill. And it was unclear to me, and I don't know if it would have been more clear now with audio description, but does that guy end up getting fired?
Nick Cage says he's fired.
But she says
But then
no.
Nick Cage goes and argues with Tess, and she's like, no, he's not fired.
Okay.
So.
Well, I mean, that's like the worst position to be put in. And I've never been put directly in that position. I've had like similar positions with like shitty like college jobs where like my supervisor will say something like, just fucking like do it this way. And I know that their boss would never be cool with that. But it was never a question of like, is it going to get me fired? It's just, will it piss someone off?
Yeah.
So, I don't know. It was fine. Like so like to consider this movie to be a drama, like them raising these like heavily like dramatic scenes where like, oh, we've endangered the life of the former first lady or whatever. I didn't get a serious enough vibe from any of it. I still felt like it was, I don't know. I just felt like laughing at it.
Yeah.
Did you? Yeah.
Well, so like he gets in more trouble with the president. But then it takes like a very serious turn, and she's like, there's a scene where she goes into like an MRI machine. And they're like reading the scans and stuff, and like she probably has a tumor or something. I don't know how to read those things.
She mentioned earlier on having a tumor, but
like
she
in
also,
a very joking manner.
Right. She also says some other like joking stuff to him at the same time, so it wasn't clear whether or not she actually had a tumor.
And then her son comes to visit, and he has like this real estate proposition for her. And like
he's basically asking for money and asking for
her endorsement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she says no.
Yeah.
So we see that not only is she stubborn with Nick Cage and security, but she's stubborn with her son as well.
Mm-hmm.
And we get a scene where she talks Nick Cage into drinking some whiskey with her. Is it whiskey?
So she watches that video of her husband's funeral.
Yeah.
And she sees like Nick Cage like really lose it.
Oh, he has a name. Do you remember what it was?
Doug.
Clamper?
Doug Clamamous.
Clammin.
Doug Chesnick. Doug Chesnick. Yeah.
But yeah, he's crying. He's crying at the funeral of her husband.
Yeah.
So I think that gives her like a stronger desire to like befriend him.
Like that definitely like softens her up to him, it seems like. So yeah, then they have drinks, like just like they meet in the kitchen and they end up having like a little bit of whiskey or something.
See, this is where I thought they were gonna bang.
Oh my God.
I just kept like, and again, I will say, and I will argue that I didn't know how old this lady was.
I told you while we were watching it.
I know, but I just...
Her eggs are from the 30s.
Yeah, I just had it in my head that, like, she was younger. But so they have, like, the very common, like, it's in every, like, comedy and romantic comedy where you get the, like, heart-to-heart.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, I'm going to bare my soul to you.
I definitely thought you were going to say, I'm going to bare my chest to you.
Well, that too. I mean, come on. As far as like older folks being like sexual in movies, have you seen the movie About Schmidt?
Nope.
Jack Nicholson? Isn't it?
Is that the one with Jack Nicholson and Kathy Bates?
Yeah.
Oh boy.
You see her bare breasts in that film.
Okay.
And I can highly recommend it and them to
I
anyone.
love Kathy Bates.
Yeah, it's a really good movie. But so we get the, bearing your heart and all this shit. But there is one, I thought, kind of funny moment in this scene when she says, "Oh, how is it? Must be wild guarding that crazy bitch Tess Carlisle, huh?" As if she's another person.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's kind of a nifty way for her to try to like get him to like be honest about how he feels about his job or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And this, like, from that point, they just kind of become friendlier.
Mm-hmm.
And he's slightly more lenient with the rules.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, predictable, leads to this bitch getting kidnapped.
Dun, dun, dun. So, like, the next day, she wants to go have this, like, picnic out by the lake.
Which, even he says at this point, he's like, bitch, it's freezing.
She's like, I don't
30
care.
fucking degrees.
Lyle kept thinking, hey, she's going to die out here. She's going to die out here. This is where she's going to die.
So, like, okay, yeah, like, that's the route. It's either they hook up or she dies or is threatened by someone and he has to defend her.
Mm-hmm.
Those are your three options. And I for sure thought that, like, so what happens here when she does a little picnic thing is she falls asleep and Nick Cage, like, walks up and, like, checks her pulse. I thought she was dead. Like, I thought that was going to be like how the movie ended, right? Because they like mend their friendship and he gives her like one last like loose rules moment. And then she dies. I think that would have been a fine way to end this movie.
Mm-hmm.
But Nick Cage carries her sleeping body to the car with the driver.
Mm-hmm.
And the driver just drives the fuck away. Like, real fast.
And like, he goes back to the house to be like, oh, she probably just like came back here.
Yeah, like the assumption is that she was just fucking with him and
like the last
like
time.
she had previously, and went back to the house. So he goes back to the house and he's like, "Is she back yet?" And all the other agents are like, "No, what are you talking about?" And this is where we find out she's been actually kidnapped. And I mean, the local police are contacted, the FBI is contacted, they go through this whole thing, and they see or they end up finding the car, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there's a note in the glove box demanding $15 million.
Yeah, they find the car like abandoned. Was
Uh,
Ed the driver still in it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
But he was unconscious and had
He had been attacked.
He'd been injected with a needle. In the needle they found ketamine and Ativan, which ooh, that'll put you down.
That'll light you up.
Ketamine is a horse tranquilizer, correct?
I believe so.
And he also had some marks on the back of his neck.
Yes. They think it was from a terrorist organization.
Yeah, they thought it was the brand of a terrorist organization. Which, I mean, you got your two options with movies, right? Either option A, Russian terrorists, or option B, Middle Eastern terrorists.
Of course.
I mean, those are your two, like, seriously, every fucking movie. But Nick Cage is smart enough to notice that the marks on the neck are not a brand of a terrorist organization, but they are from a cigarette lighter. And he believes it is because she attempted to defend herself and that she was actually being kidnapped by the driver. This turns out to be true. There's a really fucking dramatic scene where Nick Cage is interrogating the driver.
Yeah, in the hospital room.
That shit was crazy.
Yeah.
I thought it was a genuinely, like, good scene. Like, it's him screaming in this guy's face, holding a gun to his fucking head.
He was threatening to shoot off his toes.
Oh, yeah. And doesn't he end up shooting him in the foot?
Yeah, he does. Because he's like, he knows something.
Yeah. And the driver confesses to being involved in a plot to kidnap. The problem here, and Nick Cage immediately recognizes, is that if the driver was attacked by Tess, then the other people involved know that she knows who did it. Mm-hmm. So if she knows who did it, they can never release her. Mm-hmm. And Nick Cage knows that. So he now knows they got to quickly find this lady. So he gets the driver to tell where they have her. Where do they have her?
They have her at an abandoned farmhouse.
But, like, where, though?
Oh, I don't...
No, I'm saying, like, where, like, at that house.
Oh.
That shit's fucking crazy, dude.
Yeah, so they... Oh, yes. They like, throw, like, the tear gas boys into the house. And so it ended up being Ed's... Was it Ed's brother and sister-in-law? Or sister and brother-in-law?
Sister and brother-in-law. Because he says, my sister's taking really good care of her, I promise.
Yeah. So they, like, tear gas and they, like, go in and, like, they show her... They... Like, obviously they're caught, so they show where Tess is, and there's, like, a big PVC pipe
it's basically down a fucking well.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Basically, like, there's a big PVC pipe that's, like, coming out of the ground, and they're like, yep, she's down there. Like, what? Like, it's just this, like, big PVC pipe that's coming out of the ground, and they're like, they, like, fucking buried her alive.
Yeah.
But, like, they gave her the PVC pipe so she could breathe.
Yeah.
So that's awfully nice of them.
So they rescue her. She's still alive.
She got little bluish lips.
Yeah.
And they, like, put her in the helicopter, and Nick Cage tries to get into helicopter, and they're like, no, there's too many people. So he's, like, walking away, and then... So they lift the helicopter up a little bit, and he's like, all right, we're going to go meet him at the hospital. And then they set the helicopter back down. The guy gets out, and he's like, hey, who's Doug Chesnick? And they do, like, the, Gondor calls for aid, like, telephone. And they just shout his name. And then the next person shouts his name until,
it gets all the way
get
to
him.
Yeah. And she had woken up and was demanding that her Circuit Service guys be allowed on the plane.
Mm-hmm.
Cute.
It was very cute. But then she, like, gets better. She doesn't die in the film, does she?
No. I think that's kind of the end of it, right?
I think so, yeah.
I'll be honest. This one may have sounded pretty low motivation because this wasn't that interesting of a movie. And I don't
it was
necessarily...
cute.
Yeah, it was cute and stuff, but like I don't necessarily think it was bad.
You're gonna poop your pants when I tell you about the awards.
Oh, we do get one kind of cute moment after the rescue thing where Nick Cage is talking to her and she's like, "How long did it take you?" And he's like,
yeah.
"How long did it take you to notice the like lighter burns or whatever?" And he's like, 22 hours. And she's like, it was so obvious.
It's so obvious.
Yeah,
It
like-
shouldn't have taken you that long. Like they're bickering as soon as she wakes up,
Yeah.
which is really funny.
But I mean, like, how's this movie properly end though?
I think it just ends with them going to the hospital.
Yeah.
I think. Ooh.
Yeah. I don't know. I thought it was good.
Yeah, it
But
was
not, like-
cute enough.
I just could not maintain like
An erection.
yeah, well that too. But like I couldn't maintain like interest very well. Like it just kept I don't know. It had like moderately interesting things happening, but super long stretches of like just bore town between.
Yeah.
It was only an hour and 35 minutes.
We
and-
did miss the montage part when the president was supposed to be coming to visit her.
Oh yeah, she was setting up like an opening of the presidential library or some shit.
Yeah, in her
Mm.
husband's name, and the president was going to be coming, so she like got her hair done, and she got a whole new wardrobe, and like there was a whole like montage that was kind of adorable.
Yeah, but I will say, to plug another thing, if you're interested in like how the Secret Service actually operate, because there is some truth to like some of the stuff in this.
Mm-hmm.
Weird History on YouTube
Mm-hmm.
has a video called "The Life of a Secret Service Agent" or something similar. We'll link it in the show notes, and it goes into like how you can technically reserve or refuse Secret Service detail, and how the former president and his wife, they get detail, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the kids, once they are not living in the house anymore, they lose Secret Service coverage.
You lose.
So like the Obama kids
Mm-hmm.
are just out in the world right now with, well, I mean, I would imagine they probably got private security, but they don't
Mhm.
have Secret Service detail anymore.
Hmm.
Really strange.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's got a few like good videos. He's got like what, life is like as a president, and
Was that the one? That wasn't the one about how like that one president's wife ran the country.
oh yeah, I think he has a video about was it Woodrow Wilson, when Woodrow Wilson had a stroke?
Perhaps.
Yeah. He might have one that covers that. I don't know. I watch a few of those like history type YouTube channels, but Weird History is a really good one. They actually did a series recently called Timeline
Mm-hmm.
that went through like one video for each year of the 1980s.
Oh yeah, you kept like updating me, and I'd be like, "What one is that? What are you talking about?"
Yeah.
Every single time.
And I had to remind you. I was like, yeah, it's the series I'm watching.
You
So,
know Shirley MacLaine.
Yeah. But yeah, do you want to do tell me the awards, or you want me to tell you what my rating was?
I'm gonna tell you the awards first, and then we can go through ratings.
I know one of the awards.
How could you,
I was looking at something on the IMDb page this morning, and I saw
Jordan? We have very clear roles.
I know. But I don't know what the award was. So I'll say it and then you can tell me the details, okay? Ready? They were nominated for a Golden Globe
Shirley MacLaine was nominated for a Golden Globe.
for Best
Best
Actress?
performance by an actress in a motion picture, comedy, or musical.
Whoa, did she win?
No, that was the nomination.
Oh, did she win though?
No,
Who won that same year?
I don't know.
Like who beat her? I wonder. It was 94. What else came out in 94?
I'm gonna actually go to the page.
I'm trying to think. Did Dances with Wolves come out in 94? That was a comedy, right?
Don't talk to me about Dances with Wolves.
That movie's amazing.
You know how I feel about Dances with Wolves, Jordan.
No, I don't.
What?
We haven't never talked about Dances with Wolves, dude.
Yeah. Dances with Wolves came out the same year the Goodfellas did and stole all the Goodfellas awards. Okay?
Yeah.
We've talked about this.
Okay. Well, I mean, you can say
Jamie Lee Curtis won for True Lies. Okay. I can,
that.
yeah.
That's fine. She's kind of hot, yeah?
Jamie Lee Curtis?
Yeah.
Yeah. And she still is.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
What?
Jessica Lange won that year for Best Performance by an Actress in a Motion Picture Drama. I love Jessica Lange so
for what
much.
movie?
Blue Sky. And she was up against Meryl Streep.
Damn, dude.
Mm-hmm.
You got a rating for me?
Like a me rating?
Yeah, like a you rating.
Oh, dang. This was the same year that Forrest Gump came out.
Oh.
Interview with a Vampire, Pulp Fiction. Jesus.
Damn, that was a year. No wonder this didn't win.
What? My rating was like a 6.
Yeah, I was going to say 6 even.
Yeah.
So.
Do you want to guess IMDb's rating?
7.2.
6.2.
Woof.
That's how tall you are.
Yep. That is exactly how tall I am.
Do you want to talk to me about some blind stuff? TM.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really have a lot. I've got something that I'm kind of thinking about getting into, but I won't this week. I need to like clarify my thoughts on it, but it's just like the disability model stuff. So like, what responsibility does the public really have to make the world accessible? But I'll get more into that on an episode probably next week or the week after. But in a small way, there was a Facebook post this morning from a popular content creator. The Facebook page is Writing About Writing.
Mm-hmm.
The guy's name is Chris Burkine. I don't know how you pronounce it, but those are my 3 guesses. And he is great. Like, he very regularly keeps up with posting image descriptions when he posts like a meme or something similar, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I enjoy writing, so I followed the page. And I've been thinking about getting into more writing like for public consumption rather than a lot of the writing and never showing anyone stuff that I've been doing.
Mm-hmm.
So I followed the page, and it's a nice little motivation, page. It's fine. But this morning they posted a picture, and the caption was, "This picture's a bit too involved for audio description," or for description. Or no, it was, "Unfortunately, this picture's a bit too involved for description." So I posted a snarky comment, which is kind of my way of viewing a lot of accessibility issues, is if you can have someone kind of change the angle at which they're looking, you can kind of shake up their perspective on it a little bit. So my comment was, "Unfortunately, this building has too many stairs for us to allow wheelchair users." And that, I think, is how people should view accessibility. Is wheelchairs seem to be the most public-facing disability tool. And we, as a collective, have worked towards this world in which ramps are ubiquitous, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But
ramps and elevators.
Yeah. But we haven't really done the same for other forms of disability. And I would just want to raise people's, I hate saying like raise people's awareness, but like just kind of shift people's perspectives on what it is to make something accessible and whether or not it's worth the effort. Because for someone like me, it's always worth the effort, right?
Yeah.
Like to be able to consume whatever piece of media it is. Yeah, it's obviously worth it. It's fucking awesome. Like when I find some piece of described content, I am always just super excited. Like I couldn't believe the Family Man or whatever the fuck on Amazon was described, because we've seen so many Nick Cage movies on Amazon that are just not.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you find the one that is, it really makes your day, and it shouldn't. That's not the way it should be. The way it should be is that everything's audio described and I have the exact same access as you.
Mm-hmm.
And I shouldn't have to celebrate when I get one tiny little morsel kicked my way. But that is the state of things as they currently are. And if I can use this podcast or just use my presence online in the social media pages to kind of shift people's perspectives on it, then I'm going to. And if I have to be an asshole about it, I'll do that too. Because I'm really good at it. So yeah, that's my little blind corner for the week. So there you go. You got anything, or did we have any questions or anything this week? I don't think anyone.
No, we haven't had any questions in a little while. Do you have a fact for me?
Oh, I do. It's not. This isn't like deep trivia or anything. So I have two. One is kind of a little more surface trivia, and the other is a little bit deeper and cool. You ready?
I'm ready.
The guy that directed this shit also directed / wrote Blast from the Past.
Oh, that Brendan Fraser, Alicia Silverstone film that everyone knows about.
Yeah. With Christopher Walken as the dad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that shit was awesome. Really, though, that movie was really good.
I liked it. Can we just talk about Brendan Fraser sometime?
Yeah, we can do an episode on him.
We should.
Yeah. The other one has to do with Shirley MacLaine.
Oh my goodness.
You ready?
I'm ready.
During the filming of this movie, Nick Cage and Shirley MacLaine became good pals. So much so that they co-adopted a ferret and a zebra. The ferret's name, Whiskers, and the zebra was named Zed. That sounds like a thing that I made up, but I didn't. Isn't that crazy?
Not with like Nick Cage's like history
Nick Cage
of
is
having
buying,
weird
Nick Cage is
fucking
buying
animals.
Octopuses and cobras and whatever the hell
Sharks.
it feels like. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, they co-adopted a zebra and a ferret together, Whiskers and Zed.
But like what became of those animals?
Don't know.
Because I assume they didn't live together.
Right, yeah. Like if I co-adopt something with our friend Jill, how the fuck are we going to manage that? Are we just going to ship it back and forth?
Yeah.
Jesus. So yeah, I don't know.
You'll have to FaceTime with it.
Right.
What are you going to adopt with Jill? Oh, one of those fancy bearded dragons that we saw at the pet store.
God, yeah. No, I want to adopt the rat witch that we saw in that nature documentary. What's that thing called? That thing was crazy.
The one with the really long middle finger?
Yeah. It has a really long middle finger that it just taps on stuff with.
And it like digs out, I don't know if it was termites or what it was, but that's how it gets its food.
Freaky little fucker.
Yeah. Like if Slender Man had a pet, it would be that.
Yeah, for real.
Blech.
But, yeah, that's our episode for the week, guys. Again, it really means the world to us, and it makes a huge difference if you share Facebook posts or retweet us or just tell a friend or graffiti your local city hall with our podcast name. It makes a huge difference, and it really is. It's a lot like supporting a small business, and the folks we talked about at the beginning of the episode could really use your support as well. It's a big deal, and we love you all.
Way more than you know.
Yeah. So, and if you think that we're not talking about you or to you, we are, because if you're listening, then you're a big part of what keeps us doing this.
Mm-hmm.
So thanks for your help. Thanks for your support. And do you have anything else?
No, I think I'm good.
Love you. Bye.